Let's see if it works. Okay, excited to chat with Robbie. Okay.
Hey.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. I just have to start by saying it was selfish of me to assume you were on the East Coast when we made the time.
That's okay. That's okay. And I was going to ask you, and I'm like, no, maybe she's here in California. I'm like, okay.
And I'm very glad that you did ask, because when I would have made it a little bit later so you wouldn't have to wake up so early. But yoga studio teachers are always up early anyway, right? So
yes. And I have things to do after. So yeah, it's perfect.
Good.
To be early.
I'm glad it worked out. So thank you for joining us today. Can you introduce yourself before we start?
Okay, I'm Robbie, and I run Carin Yoga, and I also teach in schools and libraries. And I started doing yoga when I was pregnant, and I finally, I was on and off, and finally I decided to do a teacher training. And after that, I'm like, I don't think I will do anything. I'm just gonna be chill. And things start happening, like people asking me to do privates, and I pretty much I do like online most of my classes, unless it's children's kids yoga I do in person. But most of the adults classes I offer, they are online.
And when did you start offering online yoga? Was it during the pandemic or before?
It was during the pandemic.
Yeah.
It's when people were looking for me and please, why don't you offer some yoga? And it's when I started.
And you're still offering it, so there's still a demand for online yoga. Yeah. I've noticed that too, that I mean, even with, as much as people love going into the studio, there's something about the convenience really of being able to do yoga in your home and the comfort. And so I'm glad that people are still offering that for people that, are still interested.
And some people, I think they shy. They feel a little discomfort going to a group class.
Yeah.
It's how I feel. Yeah. So yeah, it's still going.
And do you remember how you felt after that first yoga class? Was it love at first sight, or were you like, I don't know?
Like when I was teaching?
No, the one that you took, your very first yoga class.
I wasn't sure about it. I'm like, I thought I was gonna be working out more. And so it was a very gentle, because I was pregnant. It was a very gentle class.
Yeah.
But I kept going. I did I don't think I did a lot during pregnancy. I think I did maybe 2 or 3 more classes. And then I went back when I had my babies already. Yeah. I went back and I started again.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, and I'm glad to hear that, because not everyone falls in love with the practice right away. Sometimes it's the teacher that you have, or maybe the point in your life where you are, but people go again. And I always try to encourage people, maybe your first class isn't a perfect class or the best class, but just try it a few more times and maybe try some different styles, because as you know, there's so many different ways to practice. You can have home, so many different styles. So I really think that there's something for everyone if they're interested. Yeah. So
I agree. Yeah. I agree. Styles and teachers, I agree with you. Yeah.
And how is your personal practice? Do you still have one? I mean, with kids and
teachers? I've taken a break, a 2-month break, because I was out. So I'm a little rusty, and I'm like, I feel it. So I really need to go back now. I've been here for a week. So yeah, I'm planning like next week when I go back to work, I go back to my practice. Yeah.
So you also work full-time in addition to running your yoga studio?
Yeah.
Your online studio?
Yes. I'm a teacher. So yeah, I do all the classes. I have 1 class in early morning, and I have 2 classes in the afternoon. Like when I come back from work, I have usually 2 classes a day when I come back from work. Yeah.
That's a busy day. I mean, that's the thing. Yoga teachers are always busy, right? There's no break.
And I teach also at the library. I teach on Saturdays.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What's your favorite I don't know if you have a favorite, but when you teach, because I saw on your schedule, you teach everything, Zumba, kids, like, what is your favorite to teach?
I think my favorite to kids is a gentle yoga for adults.
Yeah?
Yeah. But I love to teach the children too. I like kids yoga, but I think the gentle yoga for adults, I think, yeah. I like adults classes.
That's so funny because you mentioned when you first took your class, it was too gentle.
yeah. But I mean, it's vinyasa, right? But it's not like the superpower vinyasa or a hot vinyasa. It's just like, yeah. I like just to feel good and move.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of that is going around. I think people just want to feel good lately. It's we're tired of working so hard maybe and taking a little bit of a break and taking care of ourselves more, which is great. I love seeing that happening.
And at the same time, keep moving, right?
Yeah. So when you were launching your website and when you were creating, your studio and everything, how did you come up with your name for your studio?
It's my maiden name. So my children did. I didn't know how I'm gonna do this, and my children were like, why you don't put it? My son actually, and my daughter was like, oh yeah, that's gonna be good. I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And they're like, you should do it. And I'm like, okay. So they helped me.
Yeah. And they know. How old are the kids? How old are they now?
Now they are 17 and 19. Yeah. Now they are young adults.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was them.
Yeah.
Because I removed my maiden name, and they feel bad because they want that maiden name in their names, and they're like, oh, we don't have it, put that. I'm like, okay, we're gonna name that Carin Yoga.
Do your kids practice yoga?
No. No.
But
I try. When they were little, they did.
Yeah.
Because I told them, let's do it,
right.
And they would do it.
Yeah.
And also, I think they want to make me happy. They want to please mom. Yeah. But now they have their own mindset. They're like, no.
Well, and they're teenagers, so maybe they'll come back to it in a few years, Yeah. I didn't discover yoga until I was in my 30s. Yeah. So I missed that whole chunk. I don't think I even knew what it was. I was like, what is it?
Yeah. It's like me. People talk to me about yoga. I didn't have a clue what it was.
Yeah. If someone came to you and was like, okay, I want to try my first yoga class. I'm nervous. I don't know what to expect. What would you tell them? What advice would you give them for that very first yoga class?
Well, it happened to me yesterday. Someone is like, I'm not flexible. They always come with this idea that you need to be flexible. And I'm like, but you don't need to be flexible. That's the point of yoga. You go there to feel a little better and you can move. But I think it's the media. They see all these pictures and they think they need to be flexible. And I think that put people away. Keep people away from yoga. So I told the girl, and I said, you don't need to be flexible. No, but people can do this and that, and I'm there and I cannot do it. I'm like, just do what you can. You don't need to be looking. But I think we feel, as humans, we feel like, okay, I need to do that too. So the main thing, I think, is like, you don't need to be flexible but it's hard. It's a hard one that people don't buy it.
Yeah.
They really think they need to be flexible to do yoga.
Yeah. And I feel like these days, there's a lot more information available about what yoga is and what's available compared to 10 years ago. It's such a different landscape now. It's so much better in many ways. But it's true that misconception still exists, and to me, it's also surprising because all the people that I surround myself with and that I talk to, they're like you and me. They agree. You want to feel good. You just want to breathe. That's all. But still, this idea exists and this misconception.
And I think if they haven't done, or they don't have people around that does yoga, people around that do or practice yoga, they don't know. And they have that. It's like, you need to be skinny, you need to be flexible. It's this idea. And people still look at me like, oh, are you a yoga teacher? Because I'm not that skinny, And I'm like, yeah, I'm a yoga teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially when you teach kids. I mean, kids they don't care, right? For the
They don't
most
care.
part,
Yeah.
you know, and that must be such a great joy to just watch them they don't care about media. They don't care about flexible or anything. They're just.
That's a joy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a joy. And they
Yeah.
always like, they pass by you and they see you in a different place. They like, look what I can do. Look what I can do.
Yeah.
So it's super cool. Yeah. And they do like amazing things, you know. Sometimes they come up with their own postures and it is fun.
Yeah.
That's the good part of teaching kids. You always like happy and they always bring something fun and they have, a different story. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. And I love that that exists. You know, I mean, I don't know if kids yoga even existed when I was little, at least here in New York City, but I'm glad that kids have an opportunity to take yoga and to experience it in such a beautiful way with no, you know, social media influence or any real influence, just, you know, the teacher and their parents, and really get to enjoy it.
It is fun. And it's like, I teach them at my school and they like, is it yoga day today? They always ask me, is it, because it's a preschool.
Yeah.
So, is it yoga day today? Is it yoga day? Or they pass by me, hi, Miss Yoga.
Yeah.
Sometimes they forget my name, you know, like beginning of the year usually. At the end they know.
Yeah.
But hi, Miss Yoga. Is it yoga day today? So it is super fun.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Robbie. It's been great chatting with you. And I wanted to know, since when you joined us, we sent you copies of our love issue, which, you know, thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. And I wanted to know if there's anyone that you wanted to give a shout out, like just someone that's supported what you do and someone that's just been, you know, shown a lot of love with you or your work or anything that you just wanted to say thank you.
I would like to say thank you to Teresa Powers. She's a very, she became a friend. We work together sometimes, like during Kids Yoga Day, we do Kids Yoga Day together. Sometimes she comes down to San Diego. I'm in San Diego. She's in LA. And she's a big supporter of my work. And I like that for my kids yoga. Yeah.
I love that. And you're part of is it International Kids Yoga Day or it's just Kids Yoga Day? You're part of that as well.
They say both.
Yeah.
Because now they're expanding to everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm part of that. And we just like bring yoga to kids and we do yoga with children.
Yeah.
Whoever want to do it, they can just participate. And it's fun. It's a fun event to put it together, especially if you already teach the children. Yeah. But you can do at home too with your own children. But if you already teach children, it's fun to do an event and something different. You just plan something different if you want to. And I usually do. Yeah. And it is super fun. Yeah.
And I'm always laughing because I find, especially with kids yoga teachers, they seem to all know each other. There's definitely a very tight community. When I posted today, Mimi and a whole bunch of other teachers, they were, oh yeah, and like everyone seems to know each other. I love that.
Because it's through Kids Yoga Day. So have, when it's getting close to the day, we have some meetings. I think have 2 or 3 meetings. And we get together on Zoom. Yeah. And we meet everybody. We meet some of the teachers. So it is fun. Yeah. And I'm gonna, if I can share, I'm gonna be teaching some kids yoga and yogas at school for adults at the festival in Big Bear, October 7 and 8.
That's amazing.
So the schedule is online, but I know I'm going to be teaching kids for sure both days and yoga in schools or something like that. I don't know the title, but yoga in schools for adults.
That's amazing. Yeah, and that's a huge festival. We're actually partners with Big Bear Yoga Festival. So we're sending, I think, like 300 magazines or something to that event as well. So I'm glad to hear that you're a part of that. Is it your first festival that you're teaching or have you taught before?
Last year I was there too.
Yeah. Is it different? Is it a very different environment when you teach at a festival?
I'm so used to teaching.
Yeah.
So it's okay, but it is in a way because you don't know the parents, you don't know the children. So it's like your first day at school.
Right.
But after a while, you have mixed ages too. Everything is mixed. But after that it's just like a first day at school. If you teach in a school, kids yoga, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
It is fun. Yeah.
That's amazing. And you have a nice mix. So you're at online, you're at festivals, you teach in libraries. That's a nice mix, keeps it interesting, right?
Yep. Yep. And busy, but it's something that I like to do. It's what I'm like. Sometimes people ask me, but why do you do this? I'm like, it just keeps me moving.
Yeah.
I meet people. It is fun. And I like yoga. It's the main thing. I love yoga. So if I can offer to more people, I would offer more, if I had more time. So.
Yeah. What did you do before you taught yoga?
Like
For work.
Exercising?
No, for work. Like, what was your job?
I'm a teacher.
Oh, you were always a teacher. Okay.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Yeah, I am.
Teaching different.
I brought the yoga to my school.
Amazing.
It's how I started the yoga in school. It's because I brought the yoga there. I was like, okay, I talked to my director and said, let's think about it. So it took me 2 years to convince her.
Yeah.
And then she's like, no, I think it's a good idea. And then pandemic came, so everybody was happy because it's the only program that wasn't canceled. It was yoga because we could do outside.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody was coming for yoga and they were happy. They were doing something.
Yeah. I think you're actually probably the first person I've spoken to that was a teacher of some kind before they were a yoga teacher. It seems like most people come from, they're stockbrokers or just like dancers. Like it's a very different career. So it's interesting that you were already teaching, because teaching, being a yoga student is one thing, but knowing how to teach, how to communicate is such a skill set. It's a very specific skill set. You might know asana very well, but if you can't teach properly, it's definitely it's definitely a great skill, and especially
for kids. I think kids, it's like it's easy in a way, but it's nice if you have the pedagogical part. So like, okay, let's, like, if they not doing what you want, like they're supposed to be on their mats, for example, and they're not doing, you just have the little, you have a way to talk to them, and like they keep they stay there on their mats, and it makes it a little easier, I think, for me.
Thank you, Robbie, so much for joining today. And thank you for supporting our publication. So you are actually our very first studio for our next issue. So we start our issues very far in advance because they take so long. It's everyone volunteers their time, and I also have a separate full-time job. So we start really early, meeting partners and everything. And thank you so much for supporting our next issue. So you will be in our print directory for our next issue, which is Joy. So the issue that we sent you is the love issue, and the next issue is the joy issue. And it's a joy to talk to you today. So thank you, Robbie.
Same here. I hope the magazine goes like to the sky.
Me too.
Yeah.
Have a great day. Thank you so much. I'll share this on our Instagram, and I'll send you the link when I upload it as well.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Robbie.
Bye.
Take care.